If you remember from my previous videos, we've got a problem here. Houston, we have a problem. I knew this was going to happen. The chain is obviously too long. I've got to take probably 2 or more, maybe 4 links out of it. Now, normally you wouldn't ride in the small chain ring on the small gear, but you want to make it so that you can. So I will work on that and give us some clearance. We'll take some links out of this chain so that'll work. So what you're going to need, you're going to need a tool like this. This is a chain tool. It just turns. There's a pin there that drives the link out. Now on this one, I want to retain the chain pin. I could put another pin in. It's probably recommended to put another pin in, but if you're careful, you can hook it on the chain. You can drive the pin out, but not all the way through. You just leave it hanging on that last link of the chain. The chain will break free, and then you can go over however many links you want to go. I'm going to try 4 and take that link out and then put it back together, put the chain on the other side, and push it back, push the pin back in. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we're up for it. That looks like a likely candidate. So I'm going to drive it, and when you first start pushing the pin, you'll feel it. There's a lot of tension. You keep pushing, then you feel it break loose. Alright, so the pin is starting to be driven out. I've got to be careful because I want to just do enough to break the chain without actually. Let's see if I did it. Sometimes you have to take a couple stabs at it. There. Okay, I got it on the first try. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty hard to see, but the background may not be good enough. But the pin is still hanging on by a thread, and the chain is broke. So now this one, I could just push it completely out. It doesn't really matter. But I like the practice of just, you know, keeping the link in. Oops, and see if I can, yeah, so there, that's popped out. Okay, that's the result I was looking for. You see that? That will fit in that one. So this is the tricky part. So what I've got to do is I've got to unwind this and put the link back in like that. And this is where you need like 4 hands, even though you only have 2. What you can do is just take the chain off the ring so it's got a whole lot of play, so you're not fighting any sort of tension. And just try to set it in there as best you can. Now, first let me just put it like this. See if I can get them together. And for some reason it just doesn't want to go in. You get this sometimes. You gotta work it. Okay. So I left enough there where, okay, it's hooked. Now I gotta put it back in place here. Chain tool, spin it down, and then carefully drive the pin, because if I don't have it centered, it's going to put a lot of pressure. It shouldn't take a lot of pressure to push this back in. It should go in fairly easy. If you're having to really crank on this handle, it's not aligned right, you're going to ruin the chain or you're going to make a mess of things. So just, I'm turning this with hardly any force at all, and the pin is going back in. Now the trick is get the pin in flush like it was before. Some people will say, oh, you shouldn't do that, you need to get a different pin. I don't agree. I mean, yeah, okay, if you've got a new pin, use a new pin, but I don't. Alright, so I'm going to get a little bit light on it, and I'm going to make sure that the pin is flush like the other ones. A lot of working on bikes is just a little bit of patience, and you know, if you start getting frustrated, just walk away from it for a while. Go look at some videos on how to do it. Look at me, laugh at me, how I'm just having so much trouble with this one. Say, wow, I mean, he's trying to be some kind of expert here, and it's not working very good for him either. Just as a disclaimer, I am not claiming to be an expert. I'm just somebody who likes to work on bikes. And I have had reasonable success working on bikes. It's maybe one where I need to walk away for a while. No, I'll get it. I don't give up that easily. Okay, so what I've done is I just grabbed the link and worked it with a pair of pliers and kind of squeezed it and gave it some lateral movement back and forth, and it's loosened it up. Sometimes these pins just don't go back in, but if you look at that, that's really good now. They're all about the same. What I'm going to do is let's get it back on the chain ring here. See where we're at. It is a bit loose there, and it is touching the guard for the front jockey wheel. Now you can ride it. You can hear that clicking against the jockey wheel. It's not optimum. I really don't want to take one more link out. You just go up one gear. It's fine. So that's it. I mean, we're able to roll through the gears. I could take one more out if I really wanted to, but I just don't think that's such a great idea. What do you guys think? One more? If I take one more link out, it's going to be about like that. No, I'm not going to do it. That's too much tension. It's not going to work very good. I'm going to leave it just like that for now. So the good news is these Shimano SIS systems are excellent. Rear derailleur up and down through the gears, index shifting, no problem. The back works perfect. The front derailleur is definitely needs to be adjusted. Okay, so derailleur adjustment, the first thing I'm going to do, this is a 5mm right here. I'm just going to go ahead and loosen this up. Alright, so I slid it down, and now I'm going to tighten it back up. I just slid it down as far as it can go. You can see kind of where that's at. Of course, when you do that, you change the cable tension right here. So now it's kind of, it needs to come out a bit more. Let's see if we can, yeah, so there's the stop. Now it's coming out way too far. You see the movement of it. Maybe I'll have to move the camera around here. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So, see how that's moving, and see how it's going way too far. There. So I need to get it to stop right about there. Just enough to move the chain up without being too severe. So I need to adjust the screw. It's either this one or this one. I'll have to look at it a little closer to adjust the top stop. And the thing I've got to do next is I've got to get out on the road and ride it, because having it adjusted on the stand is one thing. Adjusting it or riding it on the road will bring to light any adjustments that aren't correct. As you can see, I put some different pedals on because I've been out riding the bike. And the good news is it was pretty good. I brought along with me a tool like this. It's a little multi-tool. It's got a set of Allen wrenches, a Phillips screwdriver straight, a Torx, and several different Allens. So I had to make an adjustment here The cable, I just did it out on the road. It was pretty simple to do. I had to pull a little bit more cable through to get the adjustment just right. And then with the Phillips, I did make an adjustment to the top limit and the bottom limit. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I think I'll create some difference of opinion here. The reason I'm saying this is because in the lower front ring, when I go down to the smallest ring, which is called cross chaining, you can hear that it rubs. It still works. You could ride it this way, but it's going to make some noise. It's catching on these little pins on the front. These little pins have something on the back that help lift the chain when you shift from the smaller ring to the bigger ring. There's nothing I'm going to do with that. I'm not going to try to file them down or anything. It's just going to hit them. On the back, we're bumping the front jockey wheel stop here. You can hear that it's making noise. But the reason I'm okay with this is because the chain is crossed. In other words, it's deepest in there and furthest out here, and so it's not a good position to ride your bike in anyway. You can do it. As you can see, it's turning. It spins backwards, no problem. It just makes a little noise. Conversely, if we go to the larger gear on the big ring, now this is second to the largest gear in the back, which is fine. Spins backwards, no problem. No issues. If I go to the largest gear in the back, so then I'm cross-chained this way, chain is furthest out here and furthest in there, so it's crossed. Still works. No problem, but if I pedal backwards, watch what happens here. See how it drops off? Because it's crossed too much, the angle's too far. So that's why I don't recommend, riding like that. People will say you should be able to do it. Agreed, you should, but why do you need to? If you're at that gear, maybe you're coming to the top of a hill and you don't want to shift into the lower ring, okay, yeah, I get it. You can do it with this bike. It's doable. Don't recommend it, but it is doable. So that's why I'm calling it success. This was the drivetrain upgrade. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something. Feel free to leave comments. Thanks for watching.